We're here at the Natural History Museum to interview Paddy Scott, finalist in the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. Come on inside and meet one of the best guys I know. So Scotty, tell us the story about the Unstoppable Force. You were there on an expedition, and this moment, how did this happen?
This is from an expedition in Pakistan to the Himalayas. I was up there with two climbers who were trying to climb an unclimbed peak just opposite it, while they were sort of surveying the face of the mountain they were going to climb, which was way beyond what I could climb. I was able to sit there and take some shots of massive avalanches coming down. I think it's the smallest of the K6 mountains, but this has been climbed. So they were climbing one called Linksar, which has never been climbed, which is probably even more difficult than K6, but K6 has only been climbed once before. After a big fall of snow, you have these huge avalanches that come down the mountain. Obviously they're moving hundreds of kilometers an hour, but because, you know, the relief of the mountain is something like 4,000 meters, it looks like they're actually moving incredibly slowly. So they actually look quite graceful as they come down, if you're not that close to them. Yeah. I was going to be standing sort of about here, was the plan. But then after seeing these avalanches come down, I sort of suggested maybe that wasn't a great idea. The first sort of night or so, every time there's a massive avalanche, you're out of your tent in your pants running down the valley hoping to escape it. And then after a bit you get used to it and realise that if you probably couldn't outrun it anyway.
You did a TEDx talk, and you've been here at the Natural History Museum before, talking about man's impact on the natural world.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
I was trying to make the point that we are now having an effect on a global scale, and there's no real landscapes on our planet that are not being drastically affected by our population. You know, they're seeing plastics in Antarctic ice now. On one of my Antarctic expeditions, we were taking ice core samples as we went along, and you're now actually seeing melting in the interior of Antarctica, which, you know, everyone knows about the edges, but in the interior is a quite a serious problem.
Let's talk through some moments for you. So, scariest moment?
Hijacked at gunpoint by Russian Cossacks in Crimea, who thought we were CIA for some reason.
Most awe-inspiring moment? This?
Awe-inspiring moment? Probably this, or stepping off the plane the first time in Antarctica, I reckon.
I remember a story you told me about driving across a landscape
in Antarctica, yeah. There was a truck that followed us with sort of all the camera gear and everything like that in it, driven by these Icelandic drivers who are sort of nails at driving in those environments. And they told stories, very hard. They told stories about hallucinations they had when they were driving, and I was like, it's a bit of an exaggeration in that, it can't be that bad. And then you drive for 10 hours at a time, and within about 3 hours of my first driving thing, I was seeing sheep coming out in front of me, little blue men running and diving out in front of the thing, and you're actually swerving the truck to get around them. Although you realise it's not real, you can't get them to go away. It's very, very
so
odd.
Ticks off weirdest moment.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You've been and seen some incredible things around the world, like the last 3 years or 2 years.
Yeah.
Of a journey for you. So maybe tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so a bit of shock in March 2017, so last year. Basically got diagnosed with cancer, and so basically had a year, having been away, spending at least 50% of my year away traveling. Then basically had a year when not able to work, so had to go through 12 sessions of chemotherapy, 2 operations, and now out the back of it I'm fine. But yeah, it was quite a shock. My immediate thought, I remember, was thank God I haven't spent the last 10 years sitting in an office, and actually I've been out there doing stuff and enjoyed my life.
What's on the list to shoot?
Photography-wise, I want to do more wildlife. Expedition-wise, just anywhere, maybe somewhere hot.
Yeah.
I'd love to get to the North Pole. That would be
that's awesome.
very cool. Yeah.
Concerns about the natural world. What makes you worried?
I think it is, although it's probably the biggest. It's very much in the media at the moment. I think plastics is the real problem that we got to address, because I think we got to the stage where even if we stopped using all plastics now, we're still, the plastic that is in the ocean and is sort of on land that can be washed into the sea, is still going to be around for hundreds of years, breaking down into smaller and smaller particles. And we just don't know what the effects of that toxicity is going to have long term on us, on all the sort of bigger mammals in the food chain. I think that's quite a scary thing.
Will you come and be a part of our Sustain event in September?
Love to, yeah.
Thank you so much, dude.
Mate.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. Press are proud to be hosting Sustain, our first annual conference on the environment. We'll have an amazing lineup of speakers, so please come along, buy tickets, and do something good.